Start at the top of your mat with your feet underneath your hips, and your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel in contact with the floor. You want to find a neutral spine, so your hips are tucked, your belly's drawn in a little bit, and then your shoulders are down. Start by breathing nice and deep into your belly, taking deep diaphragm breaths. And just bring your heart rate down and bring yourself into your own body. We're going to start standing, so with your palms together. Just focus on taking those deep breaths. Then you're going to reach in and up and over into a sun salute, so reaching up and over your head and bring your hands back down to your center. Big breaths in and big breaths out, bring your palms together to the middle of your chest. Go for 3 and then 4, reaching up as high as you can, bring it back down to your chest. Next, we're going to do some side bends, so reach up and over, big stretch through the side of your body. Try and stabilize with your hand on your leg, then go over to the opposite side. Big breath in to reach up and over, big breath out to reach over to your side. You should feel this all the way down the side of your body. Return back to center. Start to do some spinal rolls now, so bringing your chin to your chest, round your upper back, round your low back, and bring your hips down until you're at the floor. If your hamstrings are tight, you can walk them out left and right, feeling a bit of a stretch down through the back of your legs. Try and keep your body in a round position. Then reverse the curl back up again, trying to start with your lower vertebrae, then the middle, then the upper vertebrae, all the way up to the top, then roll your shoulders back and down. Go for 2 more. So chin to your chest, round the upper back, round the mid back, round your low back, all the way down. Walk those hamstrings out if they're a bit tight. Then reverse the curl back up again. And roll the shoulders. Go 1 more. Round the back down to the floor. Bend one knee, straighten the other. So open up through the back of the legs. Then see if you can slowly bring it back up again. Vertebrae by vertebrae. And roll the shoulders at the top. Next, you're going to come down onto your hands, onto the floor, and find a tabletop position. So you're on your hands and your knees. Your shoulders are over your wrists and your knees are under your hips. I'm going to go into some bird dogs. So keep your core engaged and reach the opposite arm and opposite leg out. Come back to center and repeat on the opposite side. You're trying to stay nice and stable through your shoulders and your core and your hips as you're mobilizing from left to right. Trying to get that core engaging. Then Then reset yourself on your all fours. Draw your belly in. Then you're going to move one leg back and kickstand the other leg out. Reach it round to your side. Big breath in. And then as you breathe out, you want to reach up and over your head, stretching through the side of your body. Breathing in and breathing out. Focusing on that length through that side. Every time you breathe out, see if you can get around a little bit further. Good. Breathe in and swivel back down to all fours. Then move the opposite leg back. Rotate your leg around like a kickstand and look up towards the ceiling. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Reach over your head. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Get that stretch. Then slowly swivel down, place your feet back into your all fours position. Then big breath in, move one leg backwards and then with the diagonal arms, scoop it nice and low, getting a twist through your thoracic spine and rotate up towards the ceiling. So focus on that twist through your mid-back and that rotation of your mid-back up towards the ceiling. So taking those big breaths in and big breaths out. Then return back to all fours and repeat on the opposite side. So move the diagonal leg back, scoop the diagonal arm down, and then rotate. I just think of a little laser pointer in my chest, point it up towards the ceiling each time, so you get that twist through your mid-back. Then place your hands down, reset to all fours, and curl your toes under and push back to a downward dog. So hips up in the sky. You can walk the calves down if they're a little bit tight through the calves and the hamstrings. Bending one knee, straighten the other, opening up through the back of the leg. Then think of pushing the floor away from your hands. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Nice big stretch down the back of those legs. And if you want, you can sink both heels down and see if you can get them down towards the floor. Still breathing into your belly. When you finish, come back down and just come back to all fours. Next, you're going to push back to the down dog again. Then reach one leg up and scoop it through. Then come up into a nice big crescent lunge. So your arms are up over your head, your legs are split. You're putting your weight through your front heel and your back toe. You can slowly lunge down into the stretch, squeezing your bum on the leg that's near the floor, getting a nice big stretch through the front of your hip. You can sink the hip down and squeeze your glute. If you want to make it harder, you can twist and turn away so that you're getting a nice big stretch. So you're turning towards the bent leg. That'll really open up through the front of your hip. If that's a bit hard, you can just stay in your crescent lunge position. Nice big stretch in the front of the hip. Then you're going to return, so turn your back toe into your warrior two pose. So arms are out nice and straight, you're bending your front knee. Then turn that front foot in towards you. Just turn it in, and then you want to fold down into a big V stretch. If that's hard enough, just stay there. Otherwise, you can come around to the left-hand side. Get a big stretch down the back of your legs and through your adductors, and relaxing through your back. And then slowly creep around to the right. Big breaths in and big breaths out. One more back to the left. And one more to the right. Make sure the whole time you're breathing into your belly. Come back to the center, or you can just stay there if that's where you've been hanging out. Really relax through your back. Drop your head down towards the floor. Slowly come up. Then return back to that warrior two position. Then you can turn back into your crescent lunge. Sink down. And you can hop, step or jump up to the top of your mat to repeat on the opposite side. So nice big step back into a crescent lunge on the opposite leg, then drop those hips down. So try and squeeze your bum. You can go for a couple of lunges to really find that stretch and find where the opening through the hip is. Then you can sink down, stretch up high and open through the front of the hip. You can add a rotation if you want to make it harder. So turning towards your bent leg at the front and getting a big stretch through the back hip. Then you return back to your crescent lunge. Rotate that back foot into your warrior two position. Really stretching through that adductor at the back and getting bend in the front knee. And turn the toes in towards each other and fold down. Nice big V stretch. You're breathing nice and deep. You can come around to the left-hand side if you want a little bit of an extra stretch. And come around to the right. One more each side. And come back to the middle, or if this is where you've already been staying, just relax into it a little bit more. Let your low back hang down, get your head towards the floor. When you're ready, slowly coming up. Rotate back into your warrior two position. You can turn that back toe, reach up and overhead. Get a little bit of an extra stretch in your hip. Then slowly, when you're ready, just hop back up to the top so you're standing. Find your neutral spine again. Just take a few nice deep breaths to recenter into your belly. Now just place your hands down onto the floor and either step, hop or jump back into a high plank position on your hands and your toes, keeping your core nice and tight. Then you're going to reach one leg across to the diagonal sides, doing some mountain climbers. These are really good for working out through your core. So make sure you keep your abs on. Reach across diagonally and back. Then step one leg up to the outside of your hand, sinking down low into a Spider-Man stretch. And you can push your knee out to the side to get a bit of a stretch through your groin as well. Then straighten up, open through the back of your hamstring. You can sink down low and then turn away from your bent leg, so you're getting a big stretch down the inner thigh of your straight leg. Should feel a lovely deep stretch through that. Turn back to the front, keeping your core tight. Sink down nice and low. Then with the abs on, press back to your high plank and switch to the opposite side. Sink your hips down nice and low. You can push your knee out when you're ready, getting a nice stretch through your groin. Then straighten, open through the back of your hammy. Sink down and rotate away, getting that stretch to the adductor on the opposite leg. Just go as low as you feel comfortable, it doesn't have to be that low. You can still get a nice stretch up a bit higher. Turn back to the front, sink down into it a little bit more. You can step back to your high plank position. Next, place your feet down onto the floor, your knees down onto the floor, and realign yourself in all fours and start to breathe in and round your back into a cat and cow. So you want to arch your back down as you breathe in, then breathe out to really tuck your belly in and round through your spine. Breathe in nice and deep, and breathe out to get that rounding. See if each time you get a little lower and then a little higher into the movement. When you're ready, slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Then rotate one of your legs up and over, keeping your shoulder out to the side. So really twisting through your spine. Try and bring the knee around as far as you can. If you want to make it harder, you can reach the opposite arm up, getting a nice big twist through your body. Take a few nice deep breaths into this movement. And slowly come down to center and repeat on the opposite side. So rotate your leg up and over, get that knee out as far as you can. Just lay there, you should feel a stretch through the shoulder, through your spine, through your hip. And if you want to make it harder, you can reach that arm up and over, making the movement harder. Let's return back to center and then gently push yourself back. Then just gently push back into a child's pose. Place your knees wide, arms out in front of you. Sink your hips down low and try and stretch through your lats under your armpits. Just take nice deep breaths in through your belly. Big exhales all the way out. Want to get more of a stretch through your lats, you can come around to the left hand side. Just making yourself into a C curve. Really stretching through the right side of the body and breathing into that space. Nice deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Slowly come back to center and then repeat on the opposite side. Getting a stretch through your left side of your lats. So try and really curl your body around. Breathe into that space. Make sure you're breathing through the whole movement. Don't hold your breath or forget to breathe. Just come back to center. Sink back into the original child's pose stretch. And when you're ready, you can slowly come over onto your back and just finish off with some nice deep breathing. So relax, completely let your body chill out. I like to bend my knees, but you can have yours straight or bent. Have your hands on your belly under your rib cage. Just focus on about 3 to 5 minutes of deep inhales and deep exhales, getting your body into a nice rest and digest state.